Hello there, Sorry from 17 once again. This is going to be a Dark Souls 2 PvP build video. A lot of people are curious about my builds, curious about what I'm using in the videos and all that kind of good stuff. And to be completely honest guys, the stuff that you've seen so far has all been taken from my main account, which is this one, the top one. And as you can see, it's a very over-leveled, tons of time on the account. It's my first playthrough, guys, the one you've watched, and you're at the end of that playthrough now. And he's on New Game Plus 4. I've got one of my places has a bonfire that's at intensity 70, shit like that. It's all the junk. It's the character I go to just do some PvP because I know I can equip the stuff I want to use in that particular session. So a lot of that stuff you've seen has come from that one. And a lot of people are curious as to what my other stuff looks like. You know, where are my builds that are opted specifically for PvP? And I'm only going to show you two today because the rest of them aren't really done. As you'll notice, I favour the 130 to 135 cap over the 150 because I personally think at 150 you're not sacrificing anything and I can literally have every build completely comfortable, and I don't like it personally. I like feeling like I need extra points somewhere. I like feeling like I've sacrificed something, which I'll probably cover at some point when we look into the meta, whichever way it develops in the coming months. But the ones we're going to look at today are my Missdirection build, which is this one. No, sorry, that is my no death build. My Missdirection build is, which one is it? It's that one, Kento. I'm in the Belfry, as you can see, that's where I've been playing. And the second one I'm looking at is the Kyo build, or this character here, which is my mundane Hex build, which, when I built it, it was cool, it was powerful, it was fun, but it was before everybody started using what the character has. So I'm going to give a little showcase to that one, but it's not something you're going to see too much of because it's using a setup which is now so ubiquitous and hated that people probably won't enjoy it too much. But that was literally the first week of the game when that bad boy came together. But we'll look at this one anyhow. So the info is there. As you can see, I am a sorcerer. I'm in the Blue Sentinels, and that's what I look like. So let's get onto it, and let's get into this video. I'm not going to be online, guys. As soon as this boots up, I'm going to start a party to put myself in offline mode. That way I don't get immediately invaded, because this is not about invasions, guys. This is about the build, and I don't really get invaded that quickly anyway, which is why I don't do live invasions, because I would get no invasions. I tried it with my girlfriend once and it just did not end so well. But this is my character. The look that I have her wearing is the Germ chest piece, and if you look at the back of it, it fits the female character beautifully. It's so figure-hugging. It looks awesome. If you put this on the man character, you just look like a big fat fridge. It's so dumb. The leggings improve casting, the gloves improve casting, and the helmet increases your statistics for casting, because for all intents and purposes this is a casting build. The other chest piece I want to use, which I designed this character around, is the mannequin top, because if you look at it on the female, it just looks so much better than it does on the man. It's so really well tucked. But I haven't found a good ensemble to really show it off, and I really like that chest piece. But back to this one anyhow. So, the weapon in my right hand is the Thorned Greatsword. I don't have any secondaries on this build. I use the Thorned Greatsword mainly because it's a very useful tool, and it's got all the attacks that you see coming, all the attacks that you're used to people doing. But what it does have is its secondary, which fires lightning if you have the requirements for it. I have it infused with the dark because this is a dark specific build, and it enables me to do that, which is to fire lightning, and you can do that twice in a little combo, and it's something that a lot of people aren't too used to seeing, and it can be damaging against someone who isn't high defense lightning. But I don't really use it that much, and if I do, it generally means I've made a mistake, because the point of it for me is to cancel it. It's to start that animation, shit somebody up with the sparks and the particles, and then cancel into something more functional that doesn't degrade my weapon. So I do a lot of things along the lines of start it, roll, and then roll attack. And as you see, it happens so quickly, the person's already rolling thinking they're dodging lightning, and you've hit them with your sword. And you can do it similarly, as if they start running towards you, you can shit them up with that, you can do the backstep, and you can immediately go into a running attack. And it's really good for that little bit of arts of misdirection, you know, to close distance, to make your opponent waste stamina, because you can just be chasing them, you can do that, you can keep on them, you can keep doing it, just watch your stamina because it does go down, and you can get really, really creative with it, where you do all sorts of fancy stuff, and it can look nice. Don't get me wrong, you can get you killed, because a lot of people are just going to run at you and just swing. Just la la la, la la la, stun lock, because that's how almost everybody plays. On the other side, we have the Chime of Want. The reason why I'm using this is because of the stats of the build. So here's the stats, guys. I'm soul level 135, I have 23 in Vigour, which gives me 1568 life. I have 25 in Endurance for 140 stamina. I have nothing in Vitality because I don't really care too much about equip load. My Attunement is 20, my Strength is 20, my Dex is 15. Both of them are to use the sword I'm using. Adaptability is 10, which is one of the lowest it has been on my build, but the Attunement bumps my Agility up, so it kind of helps me out. And then there's 32 Intelligence, 42 Faith. Those are 30-40, but the headpiece increases them by 2. And it also increases my cast speed, which, as you can see, 248. Mainly because I have the Blue Clearstone Ring 2, which increases it by something ridiculous. Obviously, I've got the Ring of Life Protection on so I don't die, so I can keep invading here. But that would normally be swapped out for either the Ring of Prayer, or you can get the Covenant Ring for the Pilgrims of the Dark, which will boost your hexes if you want to get that extra bit of damage. But for the purposes of this video, I'm using that for that reason. I don't have any items here, because this is not a build that really needs it. I don't heal, because you can't on invasions, and when I'm a host I don't heal because that's how I like to play. But the Chime of Want is great because it enables me to do both miracles, and it enables me to do my hexes, and this is a hex build. So the first hex we're using is Great Resonant Soul. This can be swapped out for normal Resonant Soul and you get more casts. This is a very powerful spell, and because I have very fast casting speed, it enables me to do it quite quickly, catch a lot of people out thanks to lag and bullshit. You can't underestimate it because it's incredibly powerful, and it can also be cancelled, and it's one of the most useful aspects of it, because when you're chasing somebody and they're evading your magic, you can do it and then you can cancel out of it. You know, you can roll out of it, you can get people not really sure what you're doing and get that bit of an advantage. Similarly, with this one, Scraps of Life, the best thing about this for me is it flattens. It has the ability to pancake, and if I invade into a gank squad, it's fantastic for that as well, because it's very strange on its hit detection. The pillars don't seem to correlate where the damage comes from, and sometimes you get hit by nothing. It's very strange, but it has a big wind-up, and it looks a lot like Wog, so you can kind of surprise people. Because he kneels when he does it, or she kneels, as my character's a female, and the spell looks like this. So it's essentially a dark version of Wog in the animation, and the effect is very similar to a firestorm. And I use it once again to cancel out of it, to get people coming close and cancel out of it, or cancel forward into an attack. Like if you've got a ton of stamina, you can kind of cancel forward into that and then cancel that. But unfortunately on Dark Souls you can't, Dark Souls 2, sorry, you can't stack inputs. So sometimes doing that kind of stuff can be, there you go, into something else, can be tricky because the buttons don't come out. And then I have this, which is a spiced down Great Lightning Spear. I only needed, I think, 2 more faith to use it, and with this headpiece I could have used it normally without using the spices, but I used them at the time because the build looks slightly different. And the logic behind this is, if I'm going to throw a lightning spear at somebody, I might as well throw the most powerful one I can get, and that's why I'm using this. But I use it for misdirection because it's beautiful to cancel, and it's a very long animation, and it can also be aimed. So you can throw it at your feet when people run at you, you can do massive damage. It's such a useful spell to do cool stuff like that with, and just to get people not really sure what you're doing, because it gives you so long to play with it and have a lot of fun. And then there's other tips and tricks that I do with this build which I haven't really given too much attention because I don't get that much traffic on it because I've got shitty internet and Dark Souls 2 could be dead for me. But everybody knows now that you can do the cancelled parry in the backstep, which is like that. Well, you can do that on any animation. For instance, you can swing with an R1 and cancel that. But if you watch, this is a standard backstep. There you go. This is a cancelled R1 swing backstep. You'll notice the character tries to do the swing and then you cancel away from it. And I was doing that to try and get a lot of hits off on people, you know, to make people think I was attacking, cancel it, and come back in with a different move. But what I realised is people just assumed I was backstepping, and it didn't really give me too much of an advantage. And it was the inspiration for this build to have these interesting moves to do cool things with. And it's just a case of mixing it up. One criticism this build will get is spamminess, because I have a lot of spells. And if you're not cancelling them, it can be very spammy. Like, it's just how it is. But the nature of this is never to be this. You know, it's meant to be a melee-focused, magic misdirection build. And yeah, I've had a lot of fun with it. It's one of my favourite builds so far. It looks better when it's a red phantom form. It doesn't really look too coherent in design when you're a host. But yeah, that is the first of my PvP builds. So thank you for watching, and you take care now.